Hi, I'm Jeremiah Wood, and this is my wife, Rena, and I am the pastor of Pax City Church in Wichita, Kansas.
So Pax is Latin for peace, and just as it says in Colossians 3:15, we truly desire to see that peace of Christ fall on the city of Wichita.
That's right. And our vision, although it's pretty vague, I know we have to refine it and sharpen it up a little bit, is really to be a church that is present, a church that engages people where they're at, and a church that helps people discover a life-giving relationship with Jesus. Right now, our motto is, "Here I am to fill in the blank," right? And so here I am to love you where you're at, and here I am to listen and talk about it. And the list goes on of everything that we're present to do. And this is a church for everybody. This is a church for people who have been to church their whole life. This is a church for people who have maybe left the church and have found their way back. And this is a church for people who maybe have never been to church at all. It's kind of like our friends Charles and Ashley. They've been in church for over 10 years, but because of their past, they've never really had the opportunity to serve in any kind of real capacity. And now they are serving in leadership in very real and meaningful ways. The same thing is true for Robert and Shayla. They lost their house, they lost their jobs, they lost their kids due to a drug addiction. And for the first time in their life, they have found themselves in a church and finding out what it really means to be part of a family of God.
So our mission is to know God, to grow in faith and relationship with Him, to discover meaning and purpose in life, and to engage Wichita with the love of Christ.
That's right. And so this is who we are as Pax City Church. And I think the question now is, why ARC? So I actually learned about ARC a little over a year ago, and I really didn't pay much attention to it. We were kind of in a busy season, and I just didn't really give it much thought until I met John. And John is the lead pastor of Vima Church, which is a new ARC church plant here in Wichita. And so in 2016, that's when we received the call to move to Wichita and plant Pax City Church. And the word that the Lord gave us in that moment was that we were to come and plant a life-giving church, one that was high impact and life-giving to the city. And in 2018, when we first launched our church, we have yet to see anything very high impact take place. And although we are seeing life in certain individuals, I probably wouldn't really classify our church right now as being life-giving. And so after talking with John, he invited me to the launch of Vima Church. And as I went to the launch of Vima Church and experienced Vima Church, it was incredible. It was like Vima Church was the exact vision the Lord had given us, to be high impact and to be life-giving. And I sat down with John afterwards. I said, "John, you got to explain it to me. Like, how in the world did you learn to launch a church like this?" And that's where the topic of ARC came back up. And after kind of sharing my situation with him, John really encouraged me to look into ARC at the possibility of relaunching Pax City Church. So Pax City Church is part of the Church of the Nazarene, and within the Church of the Nazarene, church planting is kind of uncharted waters. And so while the denomination is eager to plant more churches, its models are pretty outdated, and it really lacks the kind of support I think church planters really need. And so this is what attracted me most to ARC, right? Modern church planting models. 93% success rate, coaching and training throughout the whole process from people who have experienced it themselves. Lots of unlimited resources, how to implement systems, and so on and so forth. And I think most important is just the brotherhood of church planters that ARC really offers. So we were invited by our church district, and we were kind of a parachute plant coming in, having some training, but not really know what we were doing. And so if we were to ask ourselves why ARC, and it's because the Lord has given us a vision to plant a high impact, life-giving church. And we believe that ARC can teach us everything we need to know to successfully launch the vision that God has for Pax City Church and for Wichita. Thank you for your time and this opportunity. God bless.